Tough one to start with, Nick, but I think we can speak in celebration of the life and career of Meatloaf.
Absolutely. Of course. It was amazing. I mean, do you remember when Meatloaf came out with songs like I Would Do Anything for Love? And it was just like this huge event on Top of the Pops.
Yeah.
It was before we had YouTube, and it was like that was all we could watch. It was like a massive thing. You were like, this epic, really long video.
And what's he going to do in the video?
Yeah. People won't realise that now, the kids. They won't get what a big thing that is. It was like when Michael Jackson had that video, and at the end he smashed up a car and turned into a panther. People would talk about this at school. It was like a big event. And, he was also a great actor. He was in Fight Club, which is a key movie of my generation. He was very good in The US Apprentice with the brilliant talk show host Donald J. Trump. And, and he also, there's some amazing stories of him coming out. My favourite is that he had this run-in with Prince Andrew, where he felt Andrew was being a bit jealous of him and tried to push him into a moat. And then he grabbed Andrew and said, I don't give a bleep who you are. If you do that to me, you're going in the moat.
Proved to be an excellent judge of character. I mean, these guys, he is sort of part of a bygone era, isn't he, Meatloaf? A proper sort of rock star that just doesn't care.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think he transcends eras. And I think the reason for that is that his sort of style, this sort of bombastic, theatrical, rock opera style, there's a real sense of humour at the heart of it, and it's something that it doesn't take itself too seriously. And therefore, it probably won't age that badly, And right. I think, I was looking earlier at a clip from Rocky Horror Show. He was in the Rocky Horror Show. He's only got one song in that, but it's brilliant. The performance is fantastic. He's just a complete natural, so flamboyant, really interesting. I can't believe you're talking about his acting career. You didn't mention Spice World. That doesn't make sense to me, because that's the pinnacle. Surely that is the pinnacle of anyone's acting career. But I do think...
I'm the heterosexual one here. That's what it is.
Yes. Well, one of the things that I really like about Meatloaf is that his name apparently comes from him being bullied at school, and he was called Meatloaf because he was overweight. And he reclaimed it.
He owned it.
Made millions. I should do that with my nickname from school, Gay Boy Doyle, which I think I have reclaimed to an extent and made it work for me.
It's going to stick.
We all call you it affectionately now in the office.
Yeah, that's right. They do. Is that what it is?
Well, apparently that's a microaggression, but...
It does feel a bit like a microaggression. I keep leaving muffins in my locker. What does that mean?
Those aren't muffins.
Oh, OK. Well, I won't touch them then. I will say that I think Meatloaf was a tremendously talented performer. I think the key to his success very much was his collaboration with Jim Steinman, who really did sort of... you can tell a Jim Steinman song when you hear it, whether it's Meatloaf, whether it's Bonnie Tyler singing it, not just because they always have brackets in the title of the songs, but because they have that, as I say, this theatrical...
A bit operatic.
Exactly, not like your traditional rock and roll, and you combine that with the sort of hellish imagery and the bats and the motorcycle. It's quite funny.
I think you're right as well, that it was never really in style, so it can never go out of style.
That's it.
That's the key, isn't it? But what do you think it was when he said, I'll do anything for love, but I won't do that? I think it was going to IKEA on the weekend. What do you think it was?
Yeah, I think so. Just when IKEA opens at 10 a.m. on a Saturday, when people are queuing up outside.
Exactly. Yes, that's what he was singing about.
Well, I think that's a legitimate limit, I think, for a couple.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I think
Or is it staying for food at IKEA? Would you not do that for love?
No, as a vegetarian, definitely not the meatballs.
I'm completely single. I'm just imagining what normal people do. I've got no idea.
What would you not do for love? The mind boggles. It's a family show. Keep it clean.